But true power, the divine right to rule, is something you're born with.
Princess Azula of the Fire Nation, daughter of Fire Lord Ozai, younger sister to Prince Zuko, and niece to the Dragon of the West, Iroh, is by far my favorite character in Avatar: The Last Airbender. For me, and probably for some of you too, this is where my love for toxic women started. I mean, they did her character so well that most people find the final Agni Kai to be a much more emotionally impactful fight than Aang's and Ozai's. And that really speaks to how well the writers fully developed her character, and perhaps even how much they underdeveloped Ozai. I mean, the whole show's premise from the iconic intro is about how Aang needs to master all 4 elements to defeat the Fire Lord. Yet, throughout the show's 3 seasons, the Fire Lord is more of a shadowy figure in the background. Yes, he ultimately is the reason why the plot progresses and gives some long-term agency to Team Avatar, but kinda like in the original Star Wars trilogy where the Emperor was pulling all the strings, he was definitely a major threat, but it was really Vader that everyone got attached to. Likewise, Azula is oftentimes the one directly pursuing Team Avatar, and I think for most people holds a lot more emotional weight to her story than Ozai. That's because Azula's story is a beautifully told tragedy. She's a firebending prodigy brought up in the midst of 100-year wars started by her grandfather. She was raised in a regime where power and control reigned absolute. Even as cunning as Azula was from childhood, she was just another pawn in a war she couldn't end. From the very beginning, she was acclaimed by her father for her innate firebending abilities, being a clear favorite over her brother Zuko.
She's a true prodigy.
And while perhaps she may have never faced a fate as physically traumatizing as Zuko's, it would prove that mentally and emotionally, it was far worse. With Ozai being the megalomaniac that he is, he never truly loved Azula, but only respected her for her power. Due to this relationship with her father, and at best a strained relationship with her mother, she never felt love, even believing that her own mother thought she was a monster. And with no real relationships, she became hyper-fixated on power, just like her father. There's a popular line that Zuko quotes from Ozai in Season 1 that really emphasizes the dynamic between him and Azula, where he acknowledges how everything always came so easy to her, and how everyone adores her, and how she was born lucky, while he was lucky to be born. But in many regards, as the show progresses, we see that Zuko was actually the lucky one, due to him having Iroh in his life. Iroh was the only one that loved him when he was lost and filled with rage. Azula had no such relationship. All she knew was fear and manipulation. Even with her friends Mei and Ty Lee, she resorted to manipulation and fear to keep them on her side. She believed there was no other way, and when they both finally defected, it was because they no longer feared her.
I guess you just don't know people as well as you think you do. You miscalculated. I love Zuko more than I fear you.
No, you miscalculated! You should have feared me more!
This is what makes her eventual mental deterioration and collapse all the more heartbreaking. Azula is a product of neglect. Neglect from her own father, and neglect from any real meaningful relationships. She trusted no one, and the only time she ever hears the words, "I love you," is from a hallucination of her mother. The final Agni Kai was supposed to be Azula's coronation, the very thing she had fought so hard to achieve. But as with any true tragedy, this would never come to pass. Instead, she was the most alone she had ever been, and was completely isolated with only the illusion of power and control she had become so fixated on. And despite all the wrong she had done up until then, all the lies, all the manipulation, it was in this moment where I truly felt sympathy for her. Azula is a villain that's just as much of a victim of war as anyone else. There's a saying that there's no winners in war, just losers and survivors. Azula just did what she thought she had to in order to survive. And in the wake of her defeat, as she roared those beautiful sapphire flames, I couldn't help but to love Avatar's tragic antagonist, Princess Azula, the neglected child that let her fear and pursuit of power ultimately destroy herself.